RGT.
What is happening, boys and girls? This is your captain speaking of G3, and today I will be interviewing this guy. We talked about this in our last meet, and for some twist of fate, it finally happened. I'm not gonna give any more long introductions because he is the man you should be looking out for in the upcoming DexCon Peks Man. Previously set up Thailand open weight champion. He is the SPW Singapore champion, and now he is the MYPW Southeast Asia champion for more than 380 days. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Philippines' favorite son, Shivam.
Hello, hi. Nice to be here finally. But let me introduce myself properly. For those of you who've been living under the rock, my name is Shivam, and I am the founder of the Real Global Threat, the most destructing group in Southeast Asia Pro Wrestling, and I am two-time Setup Thailand Openweight Champion, one-time AWGC Junior Heavyweight Champion, one-time SPW Singapore Champion, one-time Gotta Move One and Only Champion, and your current longest reigning MyPW Southeast Asia Champion. Now that's how you make an introduction.
You said it better. Can't say no to that. Well, since I have you here, Shivam, and I know a lot of people have been cheering for you on all the shows that you've been here in the Philippines. Let's go from the beginning of your career. What initially drew you from the world of professional wrestling? Was there a specific moment or match that inspired you to step into the ring?
Not really. I think it's a typical answer for any professional wrestler that watch it when we were super young, and we like right away drew into the world of professional wrestling, and hopefully want to become a professional wrestler. But in Thailand, actually in Southeast Asia, there's no pro wrestling actually. So when I found out about pro wrestling, I just jumped headfirst to it.
Well, there are some people who just basically, if they want to try something new, they just jump into it. Especially if it gets their interest. No, can you share at least where did you first begin your professional wrestling training, and how was that early experience like for you?
So I think it was mid of 2016 when I started out trying professional wrestling. And I don't know what I was hoping for, but when I was starting out, I think in my head, I thought I was going to be doing frog splash, body slam, choke slam, power bottom. But when I started out, there was nothing like that. There were a bunch of drills, bunch of rolls you have to learn. They taught us how to fall down, which in wrestling term it called bumps, how to take a bump so that you don't hurt yourself.
Right.
So basically, I think it was a whole 6 months of that before we even locked up, learn wrestling moves. So I think the fact that I passed that initial 6 months phase, and I still in love with pro wrestling, I think it says it all that I think I'm really into it, because most people will already opt out because they thought they're going to be doing all crazy stuff, but there's nothing like that in the initial state of pro wrestling.
Everything starts with the basics, and seeing your career from the beginning, I mean, I've seen growth through the years. But in those years, what do you think is the most memorable moment in your entire career?
Oh, wow. There's definitely a lot of memorable moments, but one that's actually two that's really stood out for me is that my very, very first match. I remember it was a 3-minute match, but I was super excited and nervous. We were wrestling in a bar under the hostel where I think 15 people in the crowd, and I think 12 of them already drunk. but I still performed to the best of my abilities, and I remember being super proud. And I know exactly after the match was over that like this is what I really want to do for the rest of my life. So that was the first, and the second one was last year August
Mhm.
when I finally make my debut in Korakuen Hall.
Yeah.
The second I walked through that curtain, I think to myself that like I don't know if any of them gonna knows me. So in Japan, right? In Japan, in Japanese pro wrestling culture, if like you're making your entrance in the ring, they call your name, the fans will throw a ribbon in the ring
Mhm.
as a respect or like as a cheering form for you. So I didn't expect any ribbons when they call my name. But when I step inside
Mhm.
the room, they call like Shivam. There was like bunch of ribbons, not too many, but like some of them there. I was like, wow, wow, this is really really cool, and I think that moment stood out. If you go to my Instagram, you can see that picture. My face was like, there's some ribbon for me here. So that is definitely stood out.
And I can't blame you. Korakuen Hall is the holy land of combat sports. So mostly when people step into the ring, they would especially if you're a first timer, it gives you that certain energy, and that's and I cannot blame you if you see it as one of your memorable moments. But you know, those memorable moments can happen. It can all obviously we will have you will have more memorable moments. Um, but let's talk about real quick about the real global threat. When I first heard about it, it gives that uh it gives me some kind of or it gives me that certain kind of chill down my spine because something is brewing here. How would you describe your evolution as a performer from your debut to where you are now as the real global threat?
I think Shivam as a wrestler, I think he has like a really decent progression throughout his wrestling career. But like to certain point, I think he start to realize that like, oh, maybe this is it for
Mhm.
Southeast Asia pro wrestling. So if you become good, you start to get booked overseas. By overseas, I mean inside Southeast Asia.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
sometimes you go to Japan, you get booked here and there. But I think like that's it for Southeast Asia pro wrestler. And I think Shivam he 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 don't likes that at all because pro wrestling is something he really want to do, and he knows for a fact that Southeast Asia is like it's a hidden gem of pro wrestling. I don't think anyone discovered us yet. So I think that's the main idea behind the real global threat. We just take all the best wrestler from every country. We put them in one faction and we show the world what Southeast Asia pro wrestling is all about. And it's time we go out of Southeast Asia.
Now that you mentioned that, what can you tell us is the core philosophy that guides the real global threat?
I think that's it. The mentality of not settling anything less than being the best. But you see, like the first member after me, it's Andrew Tang. He's been in the pro wrestling business for 12 years, and it's not an easy 12 year. He's the pioneer of Singapore Pro Wrestling. He's the founder of Singapore Pro Wrestling, so he's been there since day one. When nobody believes in Singapore Pro Wrestling, he's there, and he built it to what it is today. So that is the kind of mentality I want in my group. See, Eman Asman, he's the founder of my PW.
Mhm.
He knows the struggle, the pain, the sacrifice that he has to go through to make sure a pro wrestling company can perform like in a like regular basis in Southeast Asia. He knows that and he never gives up. And that's what I admire. That is the mentality we want. You see JDL himself, how many promotion he have gone through but he never quits. He never stops because he want to be the best. That is the mentality we want in Real Global Threat.
Well, you describe real global threat as a threat, but what threat are we referring to specifically?
It's a threat to pro wrestling industry in general. It's a threat that, for example, if you're in like a US wrestler, you might think you might have everything figured out. You're in Japan, you might think you have everything figured out, but here come the threat from Southeast Asia, and we, just like our tagline, we don't take part, we're gonna take over. So that is the real threat.
Well, many would argue that, real global threat is a destructive force. How do you respond when to those people who are saying you're tearing down what others have built?
Actually, I would say otherwise. I think we are building on top of what you guys have built, which is a shitty one. We are building something way more impressive. Have you ever seen any faction in Southeast Asia that goes across border? Never been done before. I'm doing it. We're doing it. We're having a connection. We're having the statement, the founder of SPW, Eman Asman, the founder of MyPW, JDL, the godfather of Philippine wrestling. And now we have Chris Brooks, number one guy in DDT Pro Wrestling, arguably number one guy in Japanese Pro Wrestling. So you tell me, are we destroying or are we like excelling?
I understand that, some people would see real global threat as tearing down what others have built. Some would obviously see it as you're building an empire. Um, but looking at the landscape of Southeast Asian wrestling, what specifically do you see that real global threat is here to fix or correct?
I think I've already said it. It's a mentality of a wrestler. We don't settle for less. You can ask for more. Why you settle for less? You think the fact that you get booked internationally in Southeast Asia is an indication that you already made it? No.
Mhm.
We can ask for more. We have like the whole Japan scene we can explore. We have US scene to explore. There's DDT, New Japan, Dragon Gate, AEW, WWE. You want to be stuck inside Southeast Asia? That is what we want to put into every wrestler that want to become a wrestler, that really want to do this.
Was there any difference when you prepare for your matches from before and now being the founder of Real Global Threat?
I think wrestling wise, I think pretty much the same, but I think what changes the intensity. It's the intensity of every execution. It's almost like I'm trying to make a statement. I'm trying to put everyone on notice that we are here to stay and we're here to take over. And if you're not matching up our energy, you're screwed. So basically, anyone who stepped inside, who stepped or going to step inside the ring with us, better bring the same intensity, or else you're so screwed.
And you're right. That would be safe to say that is also your motivation, which is very scary when you look at it at a different angle, but also exciting because there is that people are obviously looking for change, and this might be the answer they're looking for. But beyond titles, what is the ultimate legacy you want to give Real Global Threat to leave in the professional wrestling scene?
I don't know, man. I think hopefully one day when it's all over, people can look back the day that the Real Global Threat was formed, and they can see like some sort of like a mark in a history that like this is when shit get crazy. This is when professional wrestling shift. This is when Southeast Asia pro wrestling become cool, whatever. I just hope what we're doing inspire would be wrestler and inspire current wrestler as well. That there's no rules. You can do whatever you want to do. Just just think what about what you want to do and just do it.
Finally, before we go on to the next part, what do you have as a message for aspiring wrestlers who might look up to your success, but perhaps may not agree with your methods?
Look, I'm not here to say that like you should do this, you should do that, but as you can see, what we are doing right now, it's working, and it's working really, really well. And you can take your high road. It's up to you. Or you can follow the path of the real global threat. Totally up to you.
Amazing, amazing work. Okay, now that we give people the idea of what the real global threat is, let's talk about this coming Dexcon Peks Man against Nigel San Jose. Um, why choose him of all people?
It's a good question. I never chose him. And I don't know who booked this match. It's going to be a massacre. I don't understand. It's a literal David and Goliath, where Goliath is me and David is a preschool kid, Nigel San Jose. So,
But you are aware that he is preparing for this.
oh, he better be. He better be because I'm gonna whoop his ass. I'm gonna make it quick because it's gonna be on Sunday night, and I think he has to be in school on Monday. I don't know.
Well, you've definitely seen him beat Eman, and then was beaten by JDL, leaving it 1-1 against Real Global Threat.
No, yeah, this is where I want to correct you.
Mhm.
Understand? He was never one on one against real global threat because Eman he's beaten didn't join the real global threat just yet.
Ah, okay.
So he beaten the old Eman. The newer version of Eman, he wouldn't even be able to touch him. So as far as I'm concerned, he's 1-0 against real global threat. And at DexCon Peks Man, it's gonna be 2-0. And whenever the Booker decide to do a rematch with him and Eman again, it's gonna be 3-0. He can't touch the real global threat.
Well, that's something we would be looking forward to that coming Sunday. But I've been thinking, you being this big guy and all, like you said, you're the Goliath. You were able to do 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1. 12-man battle royals. Were you beating most of them? Why? Why pick on that guy then? Why of all people, you could have choose a bigger guy, like let's say Max or something. Uh, probably Fabio or something. Why choose Nigel of all people? What are
Again,
you seeing with Nigel?
again, I didn't choose this match. It's
Okay.
being booked the way it's booked, and I'm respecting the booker. He probably sees something in Nigel that I don't see, but it's okay. Maybe he will show
Mm-hmm.
something inside the ring at DexCon. We'll see about that. But my advice to him is that better stop dancing and start training seriously because dancing will not help when that bell ring and you're standing inside the ring with me because I'm gonna whoop your ass.
I'll give this floor to you, and you might as well send your very heartwarming message to Nigel San Jose on this upcoming Pexman.
Look, Nigel, there's nothing against you and me. I'm cool with you, but I just understand like what makes you think that you can beat me? Like seriously, what makes you think you can beat this? Yeah. Actually, your Puso champion Max didn't beat me. He pinned my Karu. As far as I'm concerned, I was winning in that match until he cheap shot me behind my back and retained his so-called Puso Wrestling Championship title. Let's not get into that. But seriously, what makes you think you're gonna beat me? Because if you think that you can beat me, you're delusional. And at Dexcon Peks Man, when that bell rings, you understand in real time why you are not on my level.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the plenty of reasons for you to join in Dexcon Pexman this Sunday, 24th of August at 6 p.m. over at the Brawl Pit Bulusan. Shivam, the floor is yours. Please invite them to our upcoming show.
Yes, please. I think the tickets very few left. So if you don't want to miss out on the best action in the country of Philippine professional wrestling wise, please do so and get your ticket. And I'm not promoting child abuse, but I'm whooping Nigel San Jose at Dexcon Pexman. So I don't know what you guys into. If you're into child abuse, come see me whoop his ass. But yeah, one more thing. It's not just gonna be me whooping Nigel San Jose ass. It's gonna be my fellow brother of the Real Global Threat, Jake DeLeon, in a kiss of death match, and the newest member of the Real Global Threat headlining the show, Chris Brook. And he's gonna whoop Robin Sane ass too. I don't know who books this show, man. It's insane. It's insane.
That speaking of that person booking these events, I think he owes everyone an explanation why this is going to be crazy. But
I think
everyone,
he hit Filipino wrestler. I think that's it. I think the guy who booked the show hit Filipino wrestler.
well, we shall see. And this is going to be a 3 day long event happening on August 22 to 24. Details will be in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Shivam, for taking this interview and looking forward to your performance this upcoming Pexman.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you there.